This is an interesting case that really focuses on facts and procedure. And those are really important, and lawyers talk about it with our clients constantly. And sometimes you might think it's nitpicking and over detailed or whatever, but I'm going to give you a quote from this case that just came down that highlights the importance of following procedure and citing everything that you have to facts that are in the record and actually having evidence and testimony and documents. This is something that we harp on constantly, but you see it over and over. So I want to keep giving you this information and this insight from the court and see how it really plays out. And now this is a developer who lost a deal, and the case started out in the year 2005. It's now 2020, and we're just now getting to the end of it. So 15 years of litigation seems impossible, but there was a lot at stake. And what happened to this developer was he started out trying to develop down in Broad Ripple a new project, and I think he's calling it in the 49th Street and College Avenue area called Uptown. And he was promised, allegedly, by the City of Indianapolis that he would get grant money to help him fund this project, and that he was going to get like $1 million to help him with it. And there were promises. There was a tax increment financing district approved, but the timing of it was all wrong, and he failed to meet his funding preconditions so that the city could then meet its obligations. And so we got it started in 2005, and then 2011 they made a funding commitment. Then 2012 he went bankrupt because he couldn't meet his obligations. In 2015 is when the money was really going to be available. So when he couldn't meet his funding conditions, the city went on to other developers, and they kind of took over the project and went forward. So you can see why he's so upset that his deal, his project that he worked all those years on, he didn't get to bring it to fruition or profit from it. So this litigation ensued then back in 2016, and he's making constitutional claims. And then here's when we get to this actual case. And the whole project went south, and it went into summary judgment, and the court really gave him kind of a spanking and a tongue lashing and whatever else you want to call it. They said he's anti-lawyering. He's not lawyering, he's doing anti-lawyering because his claims were so bad, and he just failed over and over and over to cite to the record specifically. And the court admonishes him and says, look, the trial rules and the procedure that we have is here for a reason, and it's not to, here it is, the aim is not to make busy work, right, but to alert the court to precisely the factual questions that are in dispute, point the court to the specific evidence that you have in the record that support your position on every one of those questions. And they said, hey, you didn't follow that. You didn't follow the local rule. You didn't follow the main trial rule 56 in federal court. Instead, here's what they said he did. Instead, you presented a version of events replete with impermissible argument, unsupported by citations to the record. Simply put, this is not lawyering in good faith. It is lawyering by confusion, equivocation, obfuscation. It is anti-lawyering. Later, you're out of here. The court ruled against him. His development from 15 years ago is gone. His claims are gone in federal court, and he's totally lost it. He went bankrupt over the project. So maybe could have done something different, or could have gotten his funding together at the time. It's unfortunate. This is why development is high risk. And when I say high risk, I mean you can lose everything, and this developer did, including losing in court. So I want to raise that for you. Get your ducks in a row. We'd love to help you with a development. If you need some assistance, if you need to syndicate the deal, that's another project that you need to look at carefully. But you know, the bottom line was the Uptown project made it with another developer that had the ability, and that tax increment financing was available, and the grant money was available. So it's not that it was a bad deal, it was the right deal, just the wrong ownership. And that's heartbreaking for this developer, but the project did go forward, and you just got to put the right team together. We'd love to help you if that's one of the things you're working on, and take a look at the case if you'd like some further information. Have a good afternoon.